It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you, and welcome to this special edition of Science Bowl. The two teams you're about to meet have won once already and are here today to decide who goes on to the semifinals to play University Park Elementary. Let's meet today's teams. First, from Laurel Elementary, please say hello to Leslie Correa, Wyatt Delgadillo, and Aaron Yeagley. And from Whitehall, say hello to John Lewis, Austin King, and Evan Hansen. And now here are the categories of questions we use on Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to question difficulty, with the easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10 points, the tougher ones worth 15, 20, and ultimately 25, the toughest question of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. Into the 2 rounds, we will have a competitor for University Park in this year's semifinal matchups. Let's go over and make sure everything's working properly before we start. Wyatt, would you try your buzzer for me? Thank you, young man. Good luck to you, to Leslie, and to Aaron. And Austin, would you try your buzzer? Thank you. Green team looks like it's ready to go. Good luck to you, to Evan, and to John. Are we ready for a good game?
Yes.
Absolutely. And congratulations on having made it this far in our competition. A real tribute to your skills. So it's nice to have you all back. All right. We go alphabetically L before W. So Laurel and Wyatt, would you start our game?
Zoo Parade for 5.
Zoo Parade for 5 points. Teams, the largest beetle on Earth has a horn on its head. So it is named for what large African animal, Whitehall?
Rhinoceros
beetle? The rhinoceros beetle. Absolutely right. Good. Go. Green.
Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, it's nobody's fault, except perhaps Mother Nature's, when one of these cataclysmic events takes place. Laurel.
Earthquake.
An earthquake, that's right. Erin heard the fault in there, and she knew that's where we had to be going. Good answer. Red.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, recently scientists found in Indonesia a pitcher plant so big that it can eat rats and frogs, making it the biggest of what kind of plants ever found. Austin? Yes, sir. Okay, don't ring in unless you have an idea. Laurel, this pitcher plant that doesn't deal with flies or anything, it eats rats and frogs, making it the biggest of what kind of plant ever?
Venus flytrap. Venus flytrap.
Not quite. Not quite. We're looking for the word carnivorous, the biggest carnivorous plant ever. Try again, red.
Body system for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, when you do this, some people think that the soul leaves the body and the devil will get in unless someone says, God bless you. Whitehall?
Sneeze.
Sneeze, that's right. Sneezes. Sometimes your breath can be expelled at 100 miles per hour. That's why you've got to cover your mouth. Good. Green.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, around Washington this time of year, in parking lots and in shopping centers, we see trees that are Fraser firs and Scotch pines and blue spruces, but their real name to us, Whitehall,
Christmas trees?
They're Christmas trees, that's right. No matter what they are Christmas trees. Good. Green.
Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, astronomers recently witnessed a supernova explosion that they think was the largest of these that ever died. Whitehall.
Star.
A star, the most massive star ever that died in a supernova explosion. Good. Green again.
Science Potpourri for 5.
Potpourri for 5 points. Teams, sometimes on hot, sultry summer nights, heat lightning occurs. You look up and there's something missing. What's missing with heat lightning? Whitehall?
Thunder?
Thunder. There's no thunder. That's what makes it so unusual. It's so far away that the thunder really never makes it to the people who are witnessing it. All right. Go Whitehall. We're on a tear here.
Zoo parade for 10.
Zoo parade for 10 points. Teams, when a mammal undergoes this, its respiration is barely perceptible, its chemical processes slow down, and it survives on stored fat. What's that mammal doing? What's it doing, Laurel?
Hibernation.
It's hibernation. Yes, it is undergoing hibernation. Good. Red.
Zoo parade for 15.
Zoo parade for 15 points. Teams, we know here in Maryland that the oriole is the state bird, the black-eyed Susan is the state flower, and the crab is the state what? Whitehall? Yes?
Crab.
Okay, again,
State
let
crab.
me go. Again?
State crab.
No, I already said crab. Laurel?
State fish.
No, the state crustacean. The state crustacean. A crab is a crustacean. Try again, please. Red. And again, Whitehall, please do not be ringing in unless you have some definite idea. Laurel, please.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Since the mature ovary of a plant, like a peach or a tomato or a string bean, is technically called a fruit, what V-initialed word is strictly an adjective? Wyatt?
Vegetable.
Vegetable. There are really no vegetables. Everything is a fruit. Vegetable is simply a convenience we use. All right, 85 to 80, slim lead for Laurel. Wyatt, you choose.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Team's multiple choice question. If you open up the dryer and you take out a shirt and it's still warm when you put it on and it feels so good, that heat got from the shirt to you via conduction, convection, or radiation. Which of those three methods of heat transfer, Wyatt?
Conduction.
Yes, indeed. Conduction. Right up against it. Good. Go. Red.
Body system for 15.
Body systems, 15 points. Teams, the Caps' Alexander Ovechkin recently was penalized. He sat out 2 games because of a patella to patella foul. What 2 body parts went together? Anybody? Patella to patella is knee to knee. It was a knee to knee. All right. The buzzer is rung. Laurel 105, Whitehall 80. We'll be back with round 2 in this important matchup in just a moment. Don't go away. And welcome back to Science Bowl. Nice to have you with us. Let's find out about our players. If you missed them the first time they were on, here's your chance. Let's go to Laurel Elementary and find out about Leslie and Wyatt and Aaron. Wyatt, start us out. He's our guitar playing man over there. Does a nice job, knows so much. How do you know so much about science, Wyatt?
Well, I pay attention in class, and I don't talk to students when we had to concentrate.
Absolutely right. So focus and discipline, and you certainly are evidence of that today. You really are focused on getting these right answers. You do such a nice job, Wyatt. Who's the principal up there?
Melinda Lee.
Yes, Miss Lee, and she's out there supporting you. And who's the sponsor of your team?
Miss Kelly.
Miss Kelly, and she's out there too. She's wringing her hands. She's as nervous as you are right now. Do you have any alternates on your team?
Yes, Yen, Ta, and Catherine Flores.
And Yen was saying he's been yelling the answers out, but he's so far away you can't hear them through the walls, but he wants you to know that he's trying. Wyatt, in addition to playing the guitar, what do you like to do?
I like to play football and baseball with my brother and dad.
That's wonderful. All right, you keep up the good playing. What do you want to do when you get older?
Be a scientist.
Be a scientist. That's great. Well, you're in the right place. Leslie, nice to have you back with us today. You a little more relaxed this time? Yeah, you know how it all works, and you've done very well. Why did you want to be on the Science Bowl?
Well, I found it was really interesting, and I thought it would be a good chance.
Yeah, good chance to kind of demonstrate all the hard work you've put in. Tell me what you hope to do someday.
I would like to be an engineer.
An engineer, yeah. So you must be a good math student as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. What do you do in your spare time?
I like to read books, and I like to write about what happens in my day.
Yeah, we were talking about your diary. She keeps a diary. Most people don't do that anymore because that takes discipline too, doesn't it?
Yes.
Nice to have you back. Aaron, nice to have you here. You told me something before we went on that I didn't know before. You play the tuba.
Yes.
Wow, now how'd that happen?
Well, I played baritone, And then my teacher asked me if I wanted to play tuba, and I said yes. I thought it would be interesting.
Yeah, and you told me you liked it. You also play piano, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you do in your spare time when you're not musically inclined?
I like to draw and read.
Yeah. And what do you want to do someday?
Be a author or artist, and I was thinking maybe start a computer company.
Yeah, wow, you've got lots of options out there. You play the game really well. I like how you help Wyatt out during the game, so you keep that up. Whitehall, nice to have you guys back again. Austin, back again, super captain over there. And Evan and John, you're making your first appearance. You were alternates before, and now you're front and center. You're big time. You're up in the major leagues now. Nice to have you. Austin, tell us about Whitehall. Who's your principal?
Mr. Campbell.
Mr. Campbell, and I know he's made an appearance here on Science Bowl. Hopefully we can get him on set if he's still here today. And did you have, who are the alternates now, Austin? Who was here before, who's not playing?
Cindy King and Ryan Westbrook.
Yeah, right, and Cindy and Ryan are out there, and they're telepathicing all the answers to you guys as well. Austin, what do you want to do someday?
I want to be a professional soccer player.
And I know you like to play baseball, too, in your spare time. How do you come by all your science knowledge?
I pay attention in class.
Wow, there's a common theme going here. You and Wyatt both are just super students. John, nice to have you here, a young man who likes to play football. I asked him what team he'd like to play for if he had the chance someday, and what'd you tell me, John?
The Saints.
The Saints, yeah. Boy, they're the hot team at the moment, aren't they?
Yes.
Undefeated as we are taping this program. Super Bowl bound, it seems like, but fortunes can change, right? Fortunes can change. So we also still have some hope for our Washington Redskins around here. Why did you want to be on Science Bowl?
Because I love science. I like to do experiments, and I like to do a lot of stuff with science.
Yeah. Science is really a contact sport, too. It's got to be hands-on to really understand it. So that way, athletics and science have a lot in common. Nice to have you on our show. Evan, nice to have you here, a young man who plays hockey for the Bowie Bruins. Is that right? Yes. How long have you done that, Evan?
About 3 years.
About 3 years. All right. And you look good in your tie over there today. Why'd you want to be on the show?
Well, I wanted to be on TV for something I like to do.
Yeah, well, this is a nice experience. It's a nice souvenir experience, and I hope you're enjoying yourself. You're playing a nice game. What do you want to do when you get older?
Maybe owner of a music studio, because one of my friends really wants to be a music artist.
Yeah, so you've got some definite plans over there. So you're a disciplined young man, too, like just about everybody else on this panel here. All right, let's get back into our game. It's a close one. Laurel 105, Whitehall 80. Lots of points to give away. And Wyatt, would you choose to start us out in the second half?
Zoo Parade for 20.
Zoo Parade for 20 points. Teams, what dental evidence is there that pandas really should be eating meat instead of bamboo? What dental evidence is there? Laurel.
They have candy teeth. Canine teeth.
They have canine teeth. Absolutely right. All right. I knew that you knew what you meant there. All right. You're up to 125. Thank you, both of you, for helping your captain there. Wyatt, go.
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Two-part answer, teams. Right now, they are treating waste from the Blue Plains wastewater treatment plant in Washington to try to reduce the two chemicals that seem to be causing so many problems in Chesapeake Bay. The initials are N and P. What two chemicals have the symbols N and P? Can you name what those two chemicals are? All right, what do you think, Whitehall? No penalty for a guess. N and P, what are they?
Nitrogen and petroleum.
Good try, not quite. Laurel, can you give me the two N and P chemicals that are so destructive to life in Chesapeake Bay, so they're trying to reduce them in the waste that comes out of Blue Plains?
Nitrogen and peroxide.
Good try. Nitrogen you both got. The P is phosphorus. Phosphorus. Try again, please, red. Good try.
You know that. Science potpourri for 20.
Science potpourri for 20 points, teams. One of the best-selling books last year was about a young boy in Africa who builds these just like a modern-day Don Quixote in trying to generate electricity for his village. What did he build that took advantage of something that blows every day? Whitehall.
A wind turbine?
More. You're close. Judges? Are we giving him that? Yes, we're going to give you that. Wind turbine is fine. Windmill is also what we're looking for. Good. Go. Green.
Green things for
Wait a minute. Turn the light out, please, if you would. Thank you. Go ahead, Austin. I'm sorry.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, the tundra, which is up near the North Pole, is an environment where there's something called permafrost. The soil alternately freezes and thaws. That makes it tough on plants. Most of them are small and stunted because that thawing and freezing crushes what part of the plant? What part is crushed, Whitehall?
The roots.
The roots, absolutely right. It's hard to be a plant. It's not easy being green in the tundra. Go. 10 points behind the leader. Whitehall.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25. Big one in that category. Teams, what plant process that all plants undergo to keep themselves alive takes place, Whitehall?
Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis, absolutely. Best between 0 and 35 degrees Celsius. Otherwise, outside that range, the enzymes don't work effectively enough. Nicely done. Now you're in the lead by 15. Go, Austin.
Let's get physical for 25.
Let's get physical for 25 points. Teams, cranberries are grown in bogs, which are areas that are depressions that are filled with water. And if you test that water, the pH is usually somewhere between 3 and 4, making that water very, very what? For 25 points, Wyatt?
Fresh?
No, not fresh. The pH of that water, anywhere between 3 and 4 in that cranberry bog, making that water very, very what?
Cold.
Acidic, acidic, acid neutral base. Go, green.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, the red blood cells in your body are unlike all of the other cells in your body because they lack what? Central cellular structure. Whitehall.
A nucleus?
A nucleus. They are anucleate. There are no nucleus cells inside those red blood cells. They are reproduced inside the bone marrow. Good. Thank you, Austin. Go.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems, 20 points. Teams, listen carefully. This wound repair tissue is said to be a tattoo with a better story. Austin.
Scab.
Not a scab. Good try. Laurel, what wound repair tissue is said to be a tattoo with a better story?
Bruised?
A scar. A scar is what we're looking for. Came close over there, Green. Go, Green again.
Science potpourri for 10.
Science potpourri for 10 points. Teams, it turns out there are more prairie dogs than scientists knew lived out there, which means prairie dogs are no longer on what list? They're no longer on what list, Wyatt?
Endangered?
Endangered species, absolutely right. Good, go. Red.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade for 25. Big one in that category. Teams, two-part answer. Listen carefully. The three-toed sloth can be described as an arboreal folivore. F-O-L-I-V-O-R-E, an arboreal folivore. I'll give you 25 points if you can tell me where it lives and what it eats. All right, two parts, an arboreal folivore. Where it lives, what it eats. Laurel.
It lives in South America and eats plants.
No. Good try. Whitehall, a three-toed sloth is said to be an arboreal folivore. That means it lives where and eats what?
Can you repeat the question?
A three-toed sloth can be described as an arboreal folivore. Folivore is spelled F-O-L-I-V-O-R-E. That tells you that that animal lives where and eats what? Arboreal means in the trees. Folivore as in foliage, it eats leaves. Red, go, choose. Wyatt.
Body system for 25.
Body systems for 25 points. Teams, sometimes the adjective in front of the word artery tells you where the artery is found. The renal artery is found in the kidneys. The hepatic artery is found in the liver. Where in the body, for 25 points, would you find the femoral artery? Laurel.
In the femur?
In the femur, absolutely right. In the leg. That's what we want to hear. Good, go. Red.
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, tell me what the area is known where the earth seems to meet the sky, or the seam sees. Yes, Whitehall.
Horizon.
The horizon, absolutely right. You got that. The point beyond which you cannot see. 165, 160. You can see what's left in the board there. Whitehall, go.
Dateline science for 5.
Dateline for 5 points. Team, scientists recently began examining the dissected brain of a man who, like Dory in Finding Nemo, couldn't do. Laurel?
I would like to give the question to Aaron.
Aaron, what do you want to tell me?
Remember?
Remember, absolutely right. Could not remember beyond 5 minutes. Okay, tie score, 165 all. Laurel, go.
Dateline Science for 10.
Dateline for 10 points. Teams, what vitamin associated with milk and exposure to sunshine has now been linked to heart disease? What vitamin? Laurel.
Vitamin B.
Not vitamin B. Good try. What vitamin associated with milk and exposure to sunshine has now been linked to heart disease? Whitehall.
Vitamin C.
Yes, sir.
Calcium.
D. Vitamin D, as in David. Red. Go.
Science potpourri for 25.
Potpourri for 25. The big one in that category, teams. Any student has ever entered a science fair knows that iodine is an indicator for what carbohydrate, because it causes things like paper and potatoes to turn blue-black when it's added to it. That would be starch. Starch is the carbohydrate. Red, 3 questions left. You choose Wyatt.
Dateline Science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points, teams. Recently, the government in the country of Nepal held a cabinet meeting on the slopes of Mount Everest, but they had to take along tanks of this in order to survive. Laurel.
Oxygen.
Oxygen. They had to take oxygen tanks with them. Absolutely right. Good. Wyatt, choose.
Dateline Science for 25.
Dateline for 25, the big one in that category. Listen carefully, teams. Marie Curie did not win a Nobel Prize in medicine, but she did win a Nobel Prize in the other 2 science fields in which Nobel Prizes are awarded. I'll give you 25 points if you can tell me the 2 science fields that Marie Curie won a Nobel Prize in. That would be physics and chemistry. Physics and chemistry. Last question of the game. Dateline Science for 20. Let me show you what the score is. Laurel 180. Whitehall 165. If neither of you get this correct, Laurel would be our winner. Whitehall, you get this, you would win by 5 points. Listen carefully. It's a multiple choice question. This is Dateline for 20 points. We all know that Benjamin Franklin invented bifocals and a stove, but he also invented the first of these tubes that can be placed inside the body, which can also draw fluids out of the body. Do we call that tube a caldera, a cauterizer, or a catheter? Whitehall.
Catheter or catheter?
The choices were a caldera, a cauterizer, or a catheter.
Catheter.
Correct answer is catheter. Absolutely right for 20 points. That means our game is over. We'll be back with a wrap-up in just one moment. Don't go away. And welcome back to Science Bowl. What a game. Came down to the very last question. That testifies to the kind of skill we had here today. It is hard to lose a game like this, but really we have no losers. Everybody is a winner in a game like this. Our final tally is Laurel 180, Whitehall 185 by a whisker. Congratulations, John and Austin and Evan. You did it. We're going to see you against University Park. And Austin is there. I can't believe we did it. I can't believe we did it. Andre and Cindy and Ryan, congratulations to you. Miss Hanson, good to have you here. Mr. Carnes, what a wonderful sponsor you are. And when Mr. Campbell, the principal, came in, he said, I have enough gray hairs already. More games like this he can't take, but congratulations to you. Laurel, let me see some smiles over here. It's hard because you guys played so well. You came so close. Leslie and Wyatt and Aaron, you're super. I'm going to miss having you here today. Jan and Catherine and Miss Kelly, thank you for being part of our game and really sending us just the best of the best. We're going to see you next time on Science Bowl. We'll see you then. Bye now.